This is a quick tutorial of how to lengthen or shorten a pattern piece. So here we have a sleeve piece, and you might find that this is a bit too long or too short for your arm. We have a lengthen and shorten line printed on this pattern, and usually the designer has placed this in the position where it will have least effect on the overall silhouette of the pattern piece. So if possible, always use the lengthen and shorten line to do any alterations. You might find that if you're altering a pair of trousers, for instance, they will have a lengthen and shorten line at the crotch and in the leg as well. So you can do multiple alterations just in the areas that you need them to be done. So let's start off by looking at how we'd shorten this sleeve. First of all, we need to work out how much we need to remove from the pattern piece. Now we need to bear in mind, for a sleeve, where the shoulder point sits. Does it sit on the shoulder or off the shoulder? And also, is there a hem or a cuff on the bottom? Once we know how much we need to remove from the pattern piece, taking these points into consideration, we can then simply mark a line on the pattern piece. Let's say, for instance, we want to remove 3 centimetres, and we just draw a line 3 centimetres up. We would then simply take the pattern piece and fold along the lengthen and shorten line. And then we want to fold that up to the line that we've already drawn on. We then grab ourselves some tape and take that alteration in place. And that is our extra length removed from the pattern piece. Now, as you can see, this does create a bit of a step in the side seam. If the sleeve isn't very fitted, you can simply just take an extra piece of paper and then draw in a line connecting where the step starts and tapering that down to the wrist, or for a trouser, that would be to the ankle. If this was a more fitted pattern, we just need to move the paper up a bit so that it's halfway between both of those points. And then we'll just tape that in place. Then we simply blend between the 2 points. Creating a nice smooth connection. Now, to do the opposite and add length into a pattern piece, we just need to cut straight through the lengthen and shorten line. And then we can add the lengthen to that gap. Now, the easiest way to do this is to take a piece of paper and we draw on a guideline, and then we draw a line down from that, the amount that we want to add into the pattern. So let's say we want to add 3 centimetres. I would draw a line 3 centimetres down from my original guideline, like so. And then I just simply place my extra paper underneath my pattern piece, lining up the top section of the pattern piece, like so. And then I'm just going to extend my grain line down to make sure that I get my pattern pieces lined up, or my sections of my pattern pieces lined up. And then I'm going to place my second section of the pattern piece just down like so. I'm using that grain line and extension just to make sure that everything stays balanced. And then when we're done, I can just simply draw in the connecting line again. Just to make sure that the whole of the side seam still runs smoothly on the pattern. I hope you found this tutorial useful to help you lengthen or shorten your pattern pieces in the future.